You're listening to the home of all things Lindenwood sports. It's the Lions Den on KCLC HD through the tower and on the Roar Network YouTube channel.
Alrighty, good evening, Lindenwood University, and welcome to the Lions Den. My name is Justin Powell, and I am joined by my co-host, James Zugmeyer, as well as our special guest, Caroline Ritter of your Lindenwood women's soccer team. Caroline, how are you doing this evening?
I'm amazing.
That's one of the better answers we've gotten.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys have never tuned into this show before, usually it's going to run for 30 to 50 minutes. It's going to be all things Lindenwood. We're going to open things up with a 20 to 30-minute interview, and then afterwards we'll break down all of the NCAA team sports going on campus that we have stats for and information. Unfortunately, that's a thing. Yeah. But anyways, we appreciate everyone who's tuned in here today, and without further ado, we'll jump into our interview of the week.
It's time for the interview of the week.
Alrighty, so first question, how long have you played soccer, and when did you know that, that was the sport that was right for you?
I started in second grade. I think that's the normal grade that you start in, but my dad played soccer in college, and my sister was already playing soccer, and that was her favorite sport ever. And so I started playing, and I didn't become a goalie until sixth grade because I quit in fifth grade. And then they were like, actually, we want you back on the team. And I was like, well, I'm not going to run. So I became a goalie. And then, I think I decided that soccer was my sport in high school. I played field hockey and basketball also in high school, and I was just like, I'm the best at this one, so might as well.
There you go.
So let me get this straight. You were playing soccer. Mm-hmm. You quit soccer.
Yep.
Because of the cardio and the running?
Yeah, and my dad would always tell me to run fast. He was my coach.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
He was my coach, and he would always tell me, go, Caroline, go. And I don't want to. So I quit.
Well, I guess I'll follow up, and I know it's technically your question, but
go for it.
The idea of being a goalie, being one of the young guys who has to get in front of the net, I know I played soccer. Nobody wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. How did you first adjust to it, and when did you know that you wanted to be a goalie forever?
Yeah, I just got put in because, obviously, I didn't want to do anything else. But, being out there...
Sorry.
Making a save, and I'd be like, oh my God, this is cool. I can be cool out here. I don't have to run and score goals. I can do something in the back and start defense. And this is awesome.
Well, it seems like it was the right decision because in high school, all 4 years you were there, at least according to the source that I have. I know high school stats can get a little bit deceiving, but you guys went to the Missouri Class 4 championship all 4 years. Yep. You started in 3 of them. Yep. What did it mean to finally win the championship in your senior year, and how did all of those big games prepare you for college soccer?
Oh, the championship my senior year was the best game I've ever played in my entire life because all of the other games, we got to this final game in senior year, and everybody's like, oh, they're just going to lose. They've lost every other game. Because we also went to the finals the year before I got in high school. So it was 5 years in a row, we lost. But it was amazing. That was the best game ever. Yeah.
That's a lot of success to have and to not have a championship until the final year. Yeah. I know that probably felt really good. Mm-hmm. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. My team went to 4 straight Super Bowls and didn't win, so I'm happy that other people were able to overcome that. I'm totally not salty whatsoever about that. But you found a lot of success in high school, which clearly attracted the eyes of Dave Musso and Lindenwood. What was the recruiting process like for you, and what sold you on Lindenwood University?
Honestly, the recruiting process was really hard. I played for a team that wasn't GA or ECNL, so it's you could email all these coaches and not put in one of those ECNL or GA in your thing, and they wouldn't open the email. So it's hard to get eyes on you. But I transferred to a team my junior year, and Ewan was one of the coaches there, and he was such a good coach, and I was like, this is perfect for me. I know what I'm getting into. Lindenwood is where I'm going to go.
So you mentioned, was it GA and what was the other one?
ECNL.
So what what does that kind of mean in the world of soccer? Because I have never heard those terms before in my life.
Okay, ECNL is, well, I forget what it stands for, but it's like the highest conference that you can play in. And if you go to an ECNL tournament, like every single line is covered with college coaches. And GA is also like that, but it was just getting popular my senior year, I guess. And now it's about the same like level as ECNL. It's gotten more popular. ECNL is like really expensive to play in. So GA, there's like the same level, but it's like less expensive, I guess.
That's very interesting because I don't see that. I've learned a lot the last few weeks talking with rugby players, hockey players, and soccer players because the recruiting process is so much different than baseball, basketball, and everything else. It's like you have your high school teams, you get recruited. Did not know about that. And that is extremely interesting. But you ended up making it to the NCAA level.
Yes.
You found a lot of success so far, but I'm sure from the high school level to now, there were some adjustments you had to make. Yeah. What was that process like going from the high school game to NCAA?
It was really hard because all the girls are so old. And, like, I got onto this team, and the oldest girl was 25 years old, and I was like, there's no way. I'm literally 18. Like, I can't do anything on this team. I felt so small. And it's just, like, you have to play to your best ability, and you can't think about how the other people are playing. It's kind of the same thing in high school, but, like, everybody's about the same size. I mean, there's some girls that are humongous, but I mean, they have their whole life set for them to be that big, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
microphone.
Yep. The year you arrived here, team ended up finishing 3-13-1 and 1-8 in OVC play. A year after that, though, you guys ended up winning the entire thing. Can you describe what made your team so successful and resilient that year?
Well, in my incoming freshman class, we had 10 players, and there's 25 people on the team. So that made up a huge chunk of our team. So pretty much our entire team changed from the year before, and we're a young team. And there's a lot of people on the team that told us that, like, our freshman class, like, made this team an actual team. Because, like, the seniors before them were, like, they were like, we want to win. Like, we're now at D1. We want to, like, be the best we can. So they were, like, really aggressive, and it wasn't like a team or, like, a family. Like, I could describe every single person on this team as, like, my best friend. Like, I could talk to any single person, and it's, like, such a good bond that we have together. And I think that's just put it onto the field. Like, you can see how good of a bond we have as a team that we found success on the field.
Well, last year, Dave Musso and some of the soccer players I did talk to talked about that culture change between that season and the year you guys won. What is the culture like on this team day in and day out? It's
so good. Like, we hang out all the time. Like, we hold each other accountable for, like, what we're doing, but we also, like, I mean, we could do anything together. Like, it's not just a team bonding on the field, and then we leave the locker room and we're done. We never talk to each other. We hang out literally 24 hours a day. We go to lunch, dinner, breakfast. Like, every single meal, it's together.
Hell yeah. That is the ideal team environment.
Yeah.
And going back to that, I mean, that resiliency was definitely needed, especially last year going into that OVC championship. What was going through your guys' mind when you went down 2-0 to Moorhead, though?
I mean, going down 2-0 is terrible, and most people would be like, oh, the game's over. But every single person, like, we saw each other at halftime and we were talking. Like, you could tell that we were not done, and we had so much left, and, like, we knew in our hearts that, like, we were winning that game. It was 2 fluky goals, terrible goals. Like, anybody could have scored those. Hopefully. But yeah, we came back with a vengeance, and we just knew we were going to win.
So with that, it was Lindenwood's first big conference championship in Division I. Yeah. So how did you guys celebrate that win? And do you think Lindenwood kind of gave you guys the proper flowers for bringing such a big championship to Lindenwood?
Yeah. I think, well, we knew we needed to stay, like, humble. Like, this is our first championship ever in the whole entire NCAA at Lindenwood as Division I. So, like, we couldn't go back to school and be like, haha, I play for the soccer team.
Yeah.
So we knew we were, like, going to help out other teams and, like, still go to their games, cheer them on. It's more of, Dave says humble and hungry, and that's what we did. Yeah.
Very nice. So last year you weren't eligible. This year you are NCAA tournament eligible. But, you know, if you guys would have been eligible last year, how far do you think that team would have made it? I mean, like you said, you guys were down 0-2, but you knew that you were going to win. You know, with that mindset, how far do you think you guys would have made it last year?
I would have loved to see us go, but Moorhead played Wake Forest, and it was Wake Forest was running circles around them. So I don't know how far we would get, but we would put up a good fight. We would, yeah.
Well, I know we're on campus. A lot of teams are hoping this year to try to sneak in to one of those playoff spots. I know the women's basketball team is trying to do the same thing. You guys could do it again this year. Yep. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
But kind of talking about this season, on paper, and I mean on paper because what happens on the field is completely different, but on paper it's been more of a challenge for this team because they're scoring more goals than last year in conference play, more going in the net. Not blaming you, by the way. I've watched the games. Just some things have happened, you know, and this conference is so different year to year, but you guys still got the third seed. You guys found a way to battle through some of the rough games, the ups and downs. You're sitting in a good spot for the conference championship. What are this team's strengths? What are the areas they need to improve? And what currently separates this group from a team like Tennessee Tech?
I think on the field, there is sometimes that our emotions get the best of us. And we just, whenever they don't, and the other team is like battling each other like we do sometimes, like we end up pulling out the victory. And it's like, I don't really know how to say it, but it's like, we got to stop bickering on the field maybe. And that's just like having the win together as a team instead of one individual person wanting to bring it home will bring us the victory over a team like Tennessee Tech.
So you think it's just like the mental toughness and maybe a little bit of pressing? Like you guys won the championship last year. You're one of the favorites. When things weren't going good, do you think people on the team were just pressing a little bit too hard?
Yeah, I think people just wanted to be like, we won, so we got to keep going, and I want to be the best on the team. And it's not that. It's a team sport. We have to all play together as one.
Well, you've been a key part of this team's success ever since you got here at Lindenwood. What are some things that you've been working on in your own game to get you to this level?
I think just composure. That's like one of my biggest things on the field. I don't like to show a lot of emotion on the field because that can get the best of somebody else, and I just don't like whenever emotion is what makes you lose the game. I think composure and staying in your own head and staying positive is really important.
Well, said you've been doing great for the entire season. Last season as well, you've won numerous accolades. But I know that there's always that drive to get better with every athlete. For you personally, where do you want to see the most improvement from your game? And what do you think separates you right now from some of the top prospects in the nation, goaltending-wise?
I think possession-wise, because I can go out there on the field and possess with my own team. Like, I can come up and be a fourth center back with my three others, and that's how we scored one of the goals. And it's all just the possession, and with my feet, like, I can play a long ball, I can play a quick little ball. Like, it's like I can play over. Like, I think that separates me from most people because when you think of a goalie, you don't think of, like, foot skills. You think of, oh, she can catch a ball. But, like, that's not all what goalie is. And it's really important to have, like, a well-rounded goalkeeper.
And I guess my final question on this, because you mentioned how you get up in the play. You kind of quarterback back there as soon as you guys have a goal kick opportunity or you have possession. How do you communicate to the players on your team on where you want them on the field? And how does that work? Because I've never played soccer at a high enough level, and I also haven't been on the field.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, with the ball at my feet, I can see the entire field. So, like, I can see the movement of everyone, and I play onto where their movement is, because I can't yell across the field and be like, go over there, because everybody else will be like, okay, I'll go too. Like, duh. Yeah. So I think it's just quick decisions with how my team is moving and how the other team is moving is like how it's like not real communication, but it's like communication in our own heads.
So it's not like a setup. It's you guys kind of have that chemistry and know where to go, and you just got to find the open person.
Yeah.
Okay, I've learned something today. I've learned something about soccer here today.
Alrighty, so flipping back to like the OVC tournament, because that is coming up this week. We've got UT Martin versus SIUE this Thursday here at Hunter Stadium, and we've got your guys' game on Sunday. But with that being said, you are going to play either UT Martin or SIUE on Sunday, depending on how Thursday ends up going. You had a draw against SIUE, even though you outplayed them that entire game. Mm-hmm. But UT Martin, last time you guys faced off, they seem to have your guys' number on that one. Mm-hmm. Who are you guys hoping to play? And if you play UT Martin, what adjustments do you think need to be made going into that game?
I personally could say I want to play UT Martin again, but I think the entire team wants to play SIUE because it's such like a hometown rivalry. Like half of the people on my team have played with half of the people on SIUE, so it's always a good game when we play them. But I think playing UT Martin would like going and win against them, because that was probably our worst game we've played in the OVC. And you could tell everybody was like, oh, we're going to come in, we scored the first goal super early in the game, so we were like, oh, we got this. And they scored 4 pretty bad goals, and yeah.
So what do you personally make of a team like UT Martin this year? Because they have either boat-raced teams or they are low-scoring, can't put it in the back of the net. They are so inconsistent game to game. What do you make of a squad like that?
I mean, if they're on, they're on. If they're off, it's not good for them. But I think as soon as you get into postseason, you know you have to play your best. So they are going to give their best, and they're going to put as many goals in the back of the net as they can, because that's what wins games. Score more than the other team.
Yeah. So speaking of those sort of like close games and everything, you know, these tournament games always seem to come down to either overtime or penalty kicks. Is there a separate game plan for when games go into overtime? And do you practice penalty kicks like during the season to kind of prepare for that tournament mindset?
Yeah, actually, penalty kicks have been a little bit of our weak link. We've pulled so many PKs, and I think 3 went in the back of the net, and we've had like a total of like 7 different people take PKs. But if our team, if the game goes into overtime, it's golden goal. So we'll play 2 overtimes, and whoever scores, if someone scores, they'll win. But as soon as they go into PKs, we're going to put Meg Rosso in, because she's like 6 foot. Takes up more goal than I can, but yeah.
Nice. And what is the main thing that, you know, goalkeepers like yourself are looking at on the penalty kicks? And do you study like the certain tendencies of opposite shooters, like for UT Martin or for SIUE? Are you going to like look at who might be shooting those going forward this week?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that we know like where they take their PK. But personally, if we don't have the information of where they're going, I can like look at them and know where they're aiming based on their hips. And they also, before they put the ball down, they look which way they go. Is like right before or like right after they put the ball down, they'll look and they can like stand up and like pretend they're going the opposite way. I saved a PK in our USI game, and she put the ball down. She looked my right side, but then she stood up and she was staring the left side, but her hips were also going the right side, so I knew she was going right.
Yeah.
It's like a whole study of body language, and it's really difficult when somebody's just like standing straight on. It's like the worst.
Now,
I never would have guessed that one. That's so analytical.
It's the mental side of it.
Yeah.
Now, I have been a part-time soccer fan because I played growing up, but I never really, like, once I got to high school, I didn't follow it. It's a bit of a hot take here from me, But how would you feel if in the world of soccer they move the penalty kick back more to give goalies a bit more of a chance and take the chance out of it?
That would be amazing because it would give us so much more time to read the way the ball goes. Because in a PK, like you have to go before it's kicked because there's not enough time in between. But if it's moved back to like the top of the 18, like you can go after it's kicked and know which way they're going. That would be amazing. And
have you seen the old MLS style shootout? Mm-mm. It was basically a breakaway where they would roll the ball in, and it'd be goalie versus shooter, 1v1. Goalie would have to come out and close the angle.
Yeah.
People did not like it, and it was because they wanted to mix it up for American audiences. Yeah. You're not a fan of that idea whatsoever?
No. That's like field hockey. That was terrible.
I mean, they were fun to watch, but so many times they would collide, and there'd be a lot of issues there, which I know as a goalie you don't want to be run into.
Yeah,
because you're focusing on the ball, not the guy or gal who's barreling into you.
And then you have like 4 other ones you have to save, and you're like in pain.
Yeah, it was a format. They tried it because they were trying to make the game interesting for American viewers.
Yeah.
And that's just not how soccer's played. Right. Soccer's the beautiful game. Everyone's played it for years.
I like the traditional PK way. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. But what I do know, just basing off your bio that Lindenwood has provided, you're a bio major.
I am.
I looked up the stat beforehand. This is more of a funny, but over a third of the people that take bio majors or science majors end up quitting before they finish.
Yeah.
How do you like the bio major here at Lindenwood? And then I know it's a few years away, but after graduation, is the bio industry something you want to go into, or do you want to continue playing soccer?
So, first question. Bio is really hard to major in. Like, all the classes are definitely very difficult. And in the future, I want to go to dental school. And, like, a big thing about that is how high your GPA is. Like, it's GPA and the DAT are big things that help you get into dental school. So doing well in classes is, like, a really hard thing to do, but you've got to focus and go as hard as you can, I guess.
I got some friends in the major, and I see their homework, and I'm like, dude, I thank God I'm a comm major.
Yeah, right.
Like, our homework for the comm, for like what I'm doing right now, we show up when we do a radio show or we do a TV show where instead of doing research and formulas and math, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. So
like, this is fun.
Props to you for wanting to do that, because you're a better student than I am.
So, kind of to piggyback off that, build off that, my wife, she got her major in biology, and I know she struggled with it even. She even said it was difficult, late nights, long papers, lots and lots of studying, and she wasn't playing a sport. Mm-hmm. How do you manage to like juggle such a well-performing team as well as that difficult major? Because it seems like you're able to handle it pretty well.
Yeah. Honestly, it's easy because we have practice at like 1 every day, and we might have left after at 3, but then we have the entire like night, and I'm such a night person, so like I could just sit down for hours and do my homework until like 10 p.m. and be like, I'm done. It's like, it like works out perfect for me, and it's kind of easier than it was in high school because I went to school, and then I went to field hockey practice, and then I went to soccer practice, and then I got home, showered, and soccer's like 45 minutes away. So by the time I started my homework, it was like 11 p.m. and then I wanted to go to sleep because I already went to school, went to practice. So honestly, it's like kind of just like a weight off my shoulders here.
Yeah, high school sports, man, they get you.
Yeah.
And I would say this to anyone that is playing a high school sport that listens, just manage your time. I mean, I understand you got to have that social life, but that GPA, if you want to go to college and play sports, just get it up there around the 3 area, and you'll probably be fine. Because that's in college, we get to just make our own schedules. We have that extra free time during the day, and during high school, nope. It's like, 7 to, I think for me, it was like 1:45 I got out.
I got out like 3.
When time did you start?
7:55.
So I got it lucky, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's cool that a lot of the athletes here on campus end up doing like stuff with the sports management. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you are one of the best players, respectfully, on campus, and you're also managing the bio major, you want to go into all these things, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you have one final question.
I do.
So let's hit it with the marquee question every time we ask it.
This is our landmark question, and this is pretty much how we end all our interviews, and it is simply, what is one thing you want people to know more about your sport and some of the challenges that come along with it?
That's a good question. I feel like soccer is such a well-known sport that there's nothing like crazy that you need to know. I don't know. That's a good question.
You've taught me a lot of things here today.
Really?
I learned about the goalies and how you guys communicate and how you see the field. I learned about some of the lower level stuff.
Yeah.
For the casual fan that doesn't know what's going on, is there anything you wish they understood more?
Well, if you want to go to college, really, really focus on getting a high-level team because it's all that really matters, honestly.
All right.
Well,
thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Of course.
We are going to transition into the Lions Den. Justin, I'll let you take over on that. You know what button it is, right? It's that one right here.
Yes, sir.
Caroline, I will see you out. But yeah, once again, thank you for coming on the show today.
Alrighty, everybody. We are going to go into the Lions Den.
It's time to go inside the Lions Den and break down every current Lindenwood sports team.
Alrighty, everybody. So first, we are actually going to talk about women's soccer to kick it off. So we are going to start with the recent games, and that is with Lindenwood tying 1-1 against Little Rock this past Sunday, going into conference tournament week. They are sitting at 8-4-5 on the season, with 5-2-2 in the conference play, with the big goal coming from Maddie Vasiloff. Scored the goal to keep Lindenwood in the game, and their seeding going into their next game in the tournament on Sunday.
I'm back, baby.
There we go.
You wrap things up with the first part of things?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we'll take a look at the season and kind of where they're at the standings right now. We've talked about it during the show a little bit, but they're going to face either UT Martin or SIUE in the quarterfinals, and that will be at home, which is huge. This team has played pretty good soccer here at Hunter Stadium, which is now being renamed to Stewart Field at Hunter Stadium. Also, what happened to the microphone?
I don't know.
All right, well, we're going to do an old-timey radio show here. Justin is currently holding the mic. It is off of the holder.
It just couldn't handle how great of an interview that was.
No, I just couldn't.
It just couldn't handle it.
It was so fire, it melted.
Exactly.
Anyways, let's get back on track here. So this is going to be an interesting tournament here, at least the start of it for the women's soccer team, as they have not beaten have not beaten SIUE or beaten UT Martin this year. And honestly, I understand that no matter what happens, you always want to win. You don't care as a team about losing games on purpose to try to get a different seed or different matchup, because you don't know how things are going to work out, and then it also kills your momentum. But if they would have been the 4 seed, they would have gotten USI or SEMO, 2 teams that they've handled fairly easily this year. So the question might be at the end of the year, what if? Because UT Martin, man, they are just inconsistent every game. You got to look at their record. It's either we're scoring a bunch of goals and we're one of the best teams ever, or we don't know what we're doing and we can't do anything. So
yeah, I know
that's scary.
We were talking about that during the interview. Like, UT Martin, apparently they had Lindenwood's number, but then there were some games where, they just could not pull their own team together. So it's kind of weird. I know she said she wanted to play UT Martin. I kind of want to see SIUE because it sounds like that's going to be a little bit more competitive on that one.
I want SIUE because in that game, and I know she wants it back because during that game there were some goals that she definitely wanted back. I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but there was one that she just kind of lost. It happens. The whole team was off that game. Mm-hmm. So the loss does not fall on her shoulders, and I don't mean that in any way. It was just a weird game. So we'll see. It's OVC tournament time. This team is playing really good soccer, and they're playing the right way. Because when they have a bad game right now, their bad game is gritty defensive soccer. When they have a good game, the offense is dominating the entire time, and they are just able to beat anyone. So if you're having decent games on your worst days, that bodes well for tournament play, where you just kind of have to, you can't have a bad game. You can't have a game where you go out there with no energy, and we haven't had that problem so far this year. But we will move on to men's soccer. They are the team of Lindenwood this year. Let's be real here. I haven't seen a record like this for any Lindenwood team since I've been here at this school, and I've been here 4 years. 13-1-2 on the season overall, 6-1-1 in the conference, and they demolished Southern Indiana on Saturday by a final score of 4-0. But big story coming out of this game, Quinn Clausen got the start. So they took Gavin Roberts out. Quinn Clausen came in, but he was out of the game in the 25th minute. Now, I've spoken with some insiders with the team, and it sounds like he may have re-injured something. We can't speculate at this time. So it might be Gavin Roberts for the tournament, which is interesting. He's been great this year. I'm just saying, like, this whole situation is such an interesting thing because the coach had to make a decision. He put his guy back in there. He seemed like he was ready to go. He got some practices. Unfortunately, he is most likely not going to be in the OVC tournament unless something happens soon.
Yeah, and that's a shame because we were talking about it and we were looking forward to kind of having him back or at least that little friendly competition between the goalies. But if, can't speculate on anything, can't say anything. Right. But if that does turn out to be, true, that's very unfortunate.
And one thing I wish we did have on this game is I wish we had the broadcast. For whatever reason, and I don't know the reason because crazy things happen in the broadcast world, technical difficulties, scheduling conflicts, whatever, what have you, Southern Indiana did not broadcast this game. And I'll say this, you do not have a football team. So you need to broadcast every single one of your soccer games. That is supposed to be your marquee program. Anyways, that's me being nitpicky, but guys, it's a big game, end of the year. There are big stakes on this. I'm sure something else happens. If there was like a State of the Union where the president comes out, maybe they had that. Can't speculate too much, but I want to watch the broadcast and I can't watch it. Anyways.
I want to watch our Lindenwood men's team. I want to watch them.
Maybe they just didn't want to broadcast it because they knew it was going to happen. But anyways, so for Lindenwood, their clinching scenario, they need to win in either of the next two games to clinch the 1 seed, or they could draw their next two games. And I know you're going to talk about those matchups, but it seems pretty likely that this team, barring collapse, should wrap up the 1 seed.
I was about to say, look, they only have one loss on the season right now. They're 13-1, 2 ties, which you know my feeling about ties. But they're 13-1-2. They should not collapse as hard. I mean, that would be catastrophic if it were to happen. But like he said, we're going to look into that. And, they've been decisive, swift with their victories into the season, and they've just been dominant going forward with every single opponent that they've had. And their next games are against Eastern and Western Illinois. Look, I'm from Missouri. We're going to show Illinois what's up. Because the last time Lindenwood played these teams, it was a W for the Lions in both of them. Eastern Illinois game ended in a 3-0 scoreline, and the Western Illinois game ended in a 2-0 scoreline. So, if I were a betting man, I would put my money on Lindenwood. Like you said, at the bare minimum, they have to tie both of these. Bare minimum, put me down for a tie in both of these, but I think this is just going to be an easy win. They're not going to lose both of them. They'll win one of them.
Which is scary that we've said this. So if something happens, come back, blame us. It's 100% on us for being so high on them. But
exactly, blame me.
These could be seen as trap games, right? Mm-hmm. If it was in the middle of the season. But you have something to play for. And I understand it seems locked up. It's not like you have to win and all the pressure's on you. Just go out there and be yourselves. That's what I want to see from this team. Don't change your game plan. Don't come out there with low energy. Take care of business, and then let's start resting some starters for the tournament. Because it's a long season. Guys get worn down. If you get up in these games early, I want to see some subs coming in. And just make sure that our guys are ready to go because I don't know if you're going to get a better opportunity to win the conference than this year with this team.
And speaking of getting things started early, let's go ahead and swap over to Lindenwood football real quick. And let's start off with that Gardner-Webb game this past Saturday. And ladies and gentlemen, that Gardner-Webb game, it was another rainy one. It was another sort of rough weather one. And the Lions definitely felt it. They were under the weather on that one because they got dominated by Gardner-Webb in a 48-20 loss. And there's no other way to describe that other than it was just embarrassing. It was rough, and it should not have been that rough. Carson Greasock of Gardner-Webb was let into the end zone for 4 touchdowns alone. one player, 4 touchdowns.
And I will say this was my first time seeing him. I've been looking at his stats all year just for the OVC Game Day show, which you guys should also check out. It'll be on this YouTube channel uploaded every Saturday morning.
Exactly.
That dude's a Scattaboo type. He's small. He's a bowling ball. He is hard to tackle.
I saw that picture of him on ESPN, and it looked, you know how Squidward's house looks, the tiki head?
Oh, no.
It looked like the tiki head on shoulders. I was like, ooh, oh, man, that is definitely Scattaboo.
Hey, I mean, it's not a bad thing to have a strong neck as a football player.
No, it's not, especially a running back.
Right, because you're getting your head pushed back a lot, especially with his height. Just, it's nice to have that. Exactly. A lot of guys will actually wear the neck guard if you're like a linebacker or if you're on the D-line. He made up for it himself. He just said, I'm going to do some neck exercises. But yeah, he was amazing in that game. But I will let you continue about this football game.
I've only got one more point before I pass it off to James here, and that is that, Darren Fugit, a former interviewee of the show, he ended up securing the Lions' first touchdown to try and help turn the tide. But, I mean, the Lions at that point were, they were drowning. There was just no coming back from that one. And right after Darren Fugit got his touchdown, Gardner Webb responded with yet another one. So it was too little too late, sort of.
Yeah, if you want I'm going to give my thoughts on the game and as a season as a whole, but I will go more in depth on this on OVC Game Day on Saturday morning. So once again, tune into that because this show, we cannot go too hard on anybody. But they basically eliminated themselves in this football game.
Yeah.
The dreams of winning the conference, barring Tennessee Tech, who is probably not going to lose a game this year, they would have to lose 2 games. And Lindenwood doesn't have tiebreaker with them. Gardner Webb is another team that could probably win this conference if Tennessee Tech collapses. You do not have tiebreaker. The only hope for you would be is that Tennessee Tech falls off a cliff, Gardner Webb falls off a cliff, UT Martin ties with you at the very end, which this is getting to like the 0.1% chance of happening. Yeah. You have tiebreaker. So right now, I'm looking at this team and saying, you played really well against Tennessee Tech. And then you played a game that is super winnable. The line was set at like -7, -5, somewhere for Gardner Webb. It was supposed to be a tightly contested game. I did all the research. I went through and I picked Lindenwood. The first time this year that I went out on the pick'em on OVC Game Day and picked this team, I laid out a game plan. They did not do anything close to what I thought they were going to do. And like I said, I'll get more into it, but it was a vanilla offense. They tried to run between the tackles, which they have not done all season, and it kind of worked. Gardner Webb gives up a lot of rush yards.
Yeah.
But they just abandoned what makes them a football team. The things that they are good at, they got away from, and I don't understand how this has happened year after year now, where Tennessee State last year, you had a game that was ultra winnable, and they got away from what was working. The Tennessee Tech game last year, I understand it was a blowout from start to finish, but it should have never been like that. This team was too talented for that game to end that way. And last year, if you win those 2 games, you end up tying for the conference lead. You would have actually had an OVC, and I understand it's a co-champion thing, but you would have had an OVC championship in football.
Yeah.
So right now, I look at the coaching staff and say, this is your challenge. You need to realize what this team is, what your guys are capable of, and go out there and give them the best chance to succeed. You can try to out-scheme the other team, and that just comes with play calling when you do it. But don't change the identity of the football team game to game. But this week, they're playing against Tennessee State on the road. They looked horrid last week. They lost to Western Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
You do not lose to Western Illinois, and I will also go ham on them on the OVC Game Day show. So I'm thinking if Lindenwood just gets back to what makes them successful, give me that play action. Be tough. Stack that box. Do not let them run on you because their quarterback has thrown a lot of picks this year.
Yeah.
I think Lindenwood should be able to pull this one out and hopefully get back on the right track. Hate to be negative. We love our football team, but we also have to be fair with them. Because I had to sit in the rain and watch that game. I was freezing my butt off out there, and that effort, I think I was giving more of an effort on camera 3 than some of the guys out there towards the end of the game. But I love you guys. I love the players. What?
Sidetracked.
Hey, look, man, we have fun on this show.
We do.
That's not a shot at any of the guys or any of the coaches. I love all you guys. Everyone I've talked to has been super respectful. Darren Fugit was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I've talked with Stugart, he's been really nice and respectful. So I thank them for being nice. It's just, we're a show here. We got to talk about it just a little bit.
Positives and negatives of everything.
All right. Well, I'm footballed out. So let's move over to hockey. They are 3-5-0 on the season, and they were swept over the weekend versus Miami, Ohio. They got both games into OT. They blew multiple leads in the first game. Second game was kind of a back and forth, tied it up late. The person we interviewed last weekend, Giovanni Morno, 3 points over the weekend, 2 goals, 1 assist. Very nice for him. I know the second game didn't go the way he probably wanted it to for him personally, but I like that it's a new guy on the team. He's shown you that he can score all season long. It's not just a fluke. He did it against the best teams in the country. Now he's doing it against teams that are kind of on Lindenwood's level. Consistency. That's what you love to see. But these games were just mental mistakes. I mean, there was a lack of chemistry. There was a play that I really did not like, and that was in the first game. It was a face-off. The puck was loose in front of the net. There were not active sticks. The defensemen were not in position whatsoever. Miami picks it up. It's in the back of your net. You cannot let the other team have the puck in front of your net off of a face-off. You need to crash that puck and get it out, or at least get sticks in lanes. Other than that, I liked a lot of the things they did this weekend. So I understand it doesn't show up on the record. I don't like, you mentioned ties earlier and how you count them. In NCAA, the way this works for hockey, if you get to the end of a game and you lose in overtime, it gets counted as a regulation loss if you're an NHL fan. If it goes past overtime, it's just a straight up tie. So these games were really close, and you look at Lindenwood on the season, now they're 3-5-0. If you would have done this the old school NHL way, where you had wins, losses, overtime losses, and ties, I think that'd be more indicative of how a team is, because you look at the record now and you say, well, this team isn't very good, versus they would be 3-3-2 if you did it the other way. Yeah. That's a hot take. We save those for Zoogie's Zone, which will also be Thursday night. But hang on. Their next game, they're going to Big Rapids, Michigan, to face Ferris State Friday and Saturday, one of the ugliest logos in the land. They need to redraw it, man. That bulldog looks like he wants to be put down. I'm respectfully. He looks so sad. It's supposed to be an intimidating bulldog. It just looks so 90s. It doesn't. Regardless of that.
I mean, if we're going to talk about a 90s bulldog, that's definitely Gardner Webb right up there with them.
But they updated it. They updated it, and the new one looks sick, because the old one was like, The running bulldog, the new one they have, I actually really like that logo. But third series in a row going up against a red team. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing, but we're 1-5 against teams that wear red this season. So hopefully we right the ship, and hopefully they don't wear their red primaries, because I don't know, but maybe we just don't like red. Maybe
it might
we
just
like
be
bulls.
a superstition. It might be a superstition, but it's a superstition that's working. But we're going to flip it over from men's hockey to women's hockey. And right now, your women's hockey team is sitting at 1-9-0, 0-2-0 in the conference. And they're coming off of a rough couple losses of number 6 Penn State. The first game was a 1-6 loss, and the second game was an 0-5 loss. So about the same score difference between the two. I know last week we talked a little bit about the women's hockey and how we felt that Penn State was a little unfair on the schedule, and I think our concerns were verified or justified. And that one, it does seem a little unfair, but
you have to schedule somebody.
You got to schedule somebody.
You got to schedule some ranked teams, because that's how you grow. Because imagine they pull off the upset, right? Mm-hmm. Why would you schedule Wisconsin? Why would you schedule Denver if you're men's hockey? Because if you beat them, which we did, you get posted all over social media.
Oh, yeah.
And all the prospects all of a sudden learn what the name Lindenwood is. So we talked about that, about the scheduling.
I was about to say, nobody knows about that second Denver game, but that first Denver game, that got posted everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's only the wins that matter in that one. But the next two games for the women's hockey team are against Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. So they get to bring the fight to them. They get to go to their barn and they get to battle it out in their home turf. And they're actually looking to get their first win against RIT since January of 2024, with their last meeting being in the Atlantic Hockey America Tournament, where the Lions lost 0-4. So they're actually going against a team that they play consistently over the seasons. And not this past season, but the season before that, they were beating them pretty heavily. But they have not won a game against RIT since January of last year. So we're almost coming up on About 2 years.
Yeah.
About 2 years against this program alone. So they're wanting to bring the fight to them, and I think they'll be able to grab one of these games. I think that they're due a win, and I think that it's not going to hit the 2-year mark. I definitely think they're going to walk away with one of these wins.
Yeah, because they didn't necessarily play awful hockey against Penn State. I mean, Penn State's just Penn State.
Yeah.
I just want to see a bit more physicality and grittiness from this squad. Mm-hmm. That's how teams that maybe don't have the top-end talent can upset other ones. When they come out of the gate with energy, punch the other team in the mouth early, and that's how you take advantage of these matchups, man. I mean, if they don't expect a lot from you and they're like, oh, we're playing Lindenwood, this is an easy game for us, and they come out and you're all over them, you set the fourth line out there to start the game, and you just start grinding them down slowly, you might have a chance. Yeah. Because eventually they're going to start pressing, they're going to make mistakes, and maybe you end up getting one where you're on the penalty kill, and your guy comes out of the box, you find him wide open for a breakaway. Like those are the types of things that end up beating teams in trap games because they get away from their game. So for Lindenwood, start fast, bring that physicality. On the women's volleyball side of things, well, they've had 10 days off after sweeping TSU. They're 8-9 on the season, 4-5. I don't know if I love this for them because you had momentum and then you just sat on it. It's the rust versus rest. And this team has a lot of young players that haven't played much volleyball. I don't know if they need the rest right now. Yeah. You won. You felt good. But they are going to be playing against SIUE right now, actually. So they're currently playing, and I wish we could pull up the score, but that's just not set up on our setup. So I think Justin's going to try to pull that up for us. But they're currently sitting at 7th in the conference, and they'll be back home on Friday and Saturday to face a struggling Western Illinois University. We're going to try to get that score pulled up. I know live stats aren't always the most accurate, especially for away games. I know Lindenwood does a great job. Shout out to Athletics on that. Our live stats are always updated. They've always been good for main media broadcasts and everything we want to do for all the shows across the program. So I really appreciate everybody in that major who does a good job volunteering their time to show up, get your hours in, get those live stats going.
And unfortunately, everybody, we are currently unable to display stats for this event. It may be due to no data from the site or an error in the stats received. And that is coming from, I think, the SIUE site themselves. So unfortunately, they will not allow us to give you the stats. We tried. SIUE just doesn't want us to. So you know what? Lindenwood beat them for us because they won't let us look at you dominate them.
Hey, this is why we are the better school, okay?
Exactly. We give you the stats.
I grew up in Edwardsville. I had a choice between SIUE or Lindenwood, and I said, I like the major here. I like the equipment. I like the opportunities that we get. And you know what? Our live stats usually work. So suck it, SIUE. And hopefully we get the W here tonight. But we are going to transition now into our 3 stars of the week.
It's time for the 3 stars of the week.
All right, well, we're going to move into our first star of the week, and this one is more of a funny. I know we've taken some liberties this week. We're trying to make the show a little bit more interesting, but our third star of the week is an anonymous player from the University of Southern Indiana. You might be wondering, what the heck is he talking about? In the 33rd minute of Lindenwood's game versus USI, an unnamed USI defender put the ball into his own net to give the Lions an extended lead. They didn't have a broadcast. No players were named in either recap. I couldn't find any information, but one of their guys' own goal, and he brought joy to my team, and he helped us win. So you know what? Shout out to that guy, and I do wish them the best of luck moving forward for the rest of the season.
Exactly. And look, we tried to find him.
We really did.
You looked them up. We were looking everywhere. Fox Sports, ESPN, Lindenwood site, USI's site. They did not want to give up that player's name. So you know what? We'll give you your flowers. Thank you very much, sir, for that goal, and we appreciate you.
And I will say, last thing is, we did some digging before the show. It was just this week there wasn't a whole lot of big standout performances that we could find. So we're not trying to slight anybody here at Lindenwood.
No.
It's not like we're just we're going to not give someone flowers. It was just trying to find something this week was a little difficult with the way things kind of went across athletics, but hopefully next week.
It was a slow week. We're coming up on Halloween. It's the holidays. Everybody's, everything's sort of slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, and it's tough when it felt like last week just wasn't Lindenwood's week. We had a lot of losses across everything, but this week, you got a lot of big games, as we've already previewed.
Oh, yeah.
This should be a good week for the 3 stars, but now I'll stop stalling. Who was our second star of the week?
Our second star of the week is actually a fellow women's soccer player, Maddie Vasiloff, and I talked about her earlier on the show. She scored Lindenwood's sole goal in the 88th minute. Hasn't been a big name in the season so far, but she steps up in those big moments when she is needed. And it might have only been 1 goal. It might have resulted in a tie. But you know what? She helped keep Lindenwood in their current seeding going into their postseason to where they are now number 3, where they are able to stay to where they could play UT Martin or SIUE on Sunday.
And now staying on the soccer side of things, but going over to the men's team, it's Leandro Hasler, OVC Defensive Player of the Week for the second time this year, 90 minutes of shutdown defense versus USI. And yes, he is a defenseman, but he is 5th in points for this team on the year, which is a very rare sight, as you think always the forwards, the midfielders. D-men don't always get up in there, but he certainly does. He had 2 goals against USI. And once again, shout out to that other defender for giving us another one.
Hey, there we go. Defenseman.
Right. Yeah, shout out defenseman this week across the board.
All soccer stars. Look at that.
Yeah, soccer sweep.
It's almost like people should go watch more soccer.
Really? I think that's a great idea.
I think that's a beautiful idea. I concur.
So if you want to get out there, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore, man, you don't got anything going on. Wait till you're a junior or a senior. Go out, support these guys. Go out to a game, get some buddies together, and make some noise because it does matter a lot. And every athlete we've talked to has mentioned how much fan support matters to them. So get out there, be loud, be obnoxious, just not too obnoxious.
And you know what's great for all those freshmen and sophomore? You don't got to turn on the TV. You don't got to listen to some random radio channel, which, we appreciate you if you do listen to us, but you don't got to listen to some random radio channel. No, both those tournaments, men's and women's, are hosted right here at Hunter Stadium in St. Charles.
Correction on that. We will have
got a new name.
No, I'm correcting you on men's soccer is going to be completely hosted here. Lindenwood will host a game here for the women's side, but just not the entire tournament, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought we had the whole tournament.
I know. I might have fibbed to you at some point. That's not on Justin. Blame me there. I'm supposed to be the scheduling guy because I work all the events, and I'm supposed to be on top of it.
Good.
But anyways, this was a fun show today. We appreciate everyone who tuned in, and we'll be right back here next week at 6 p.m. But if you want to hear more from Justin and I, Zoogie Zone will be going live in the evening around the time Thursday Night Football kicks off because I got to work some soccer events, so we're pushing the time back. And also,
speaking of
we got some other stuff coming on. OVC Game Day, every Saturday. We put a lot of effort into that in the program and the sports practicum class. We try to make it as professional as we can. We've had some nice clips over the last few weeks. It's definitely worth your time. And we're trying to win some awards this year at Lindenwood by making stuff that's really high quality.
Exactly.
So tune in, give us some support, leave some comments on that. And if you want to see any athlete or anything you want us to change about the show, reach out to us on Instagram. Everything will be tagged. Anything else you got before we head out?
No, I mean, hey, look. We cover Lindenwood sports because that is what we do. We love our Lindenwood sports here. Do go listen to OVC Game Day every Saturday morning, though, because while that does cover Lindenwood, that covers the entirety of our conference. It goes in depth. So if you want to know more of what's going on in your neck of the woods with sports, go listen to OVC Game Day. They've got you covered. And then, yes, of course, go listen to Zoogie Zone. That is mine and James's personal passion project. And I think we do pretty good over there.
I think we're pretty solid.
I think we're pretty solid over there.
And we missed this week because somebody had to get married.
Look, man, I know. Marriage is a pain
one of the
sometimes.
happiest days of your life. Whatever. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Lions Den. We're on air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here on the Tower, and all recordings are on the Roar Network YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your evening, and go Lions!